Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Thursday meditation. I'm joined by Silver, my puppy. Every time I go in for meditation, she has to come, and I'm going to see if I can show you. And she sits on the meditation cushion and meditates with us. It's pretty cute. So Silver is joining us for our meditation. Good morning, Erin. And we are going to be exploring the beliefs that claim our power. And this is really interesting to explore when we look at the things that take our power, leak that energy of creation away from us. More often than not, it's related to a belief. It's related to an understanding, a pattern, a way of looking at things that creates stuckness, that creates limitation and leaks our power away from us. Good morning, Anita. A fascinating topic for me, and this is what I'm going to be sharing on today in the Rise Digital Summit. So I've been posting about that over the last few days, and I would so love and appreciate if you would join us. It's really affordable. So it's from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. today. And the Rise Digital Summit is put on by the ACE class, and it's an incredible organization for women who are looking to up level in their business and their life and really tap into inspiration. They have such an incredible lineup, and I'm blessed to be able to share in through meditation and through this concept, this understanding of personal power and how we can tap into this. So I'm bringing it from this angle of really understanding how we leak our power, how we leak this creative energy, and then how we can reclaim it, how we can come back to the essence of who we are as powerful creators. So we moved through a couple of layers of self already. We touched into the physical layer of self, and then we moved into the energetic layer of self. And today is all about the mind, the Manomaya Kosha, the layer of consciousness that relates to our thoughts, to our beliefs, to our understandings. Good morning, Olive. And this layer of self is the part of self that we tend to wrestle with the most, that we tend to look at as wrong or bad. But it's so important to me that when I'm sharing meditation, when I'm sharing these understandings of these deeper teachings, that there is not a turning away from the mind. The mind has a beautiful role to play in our life. It holds the functions of thinking and knowing. It's so important that we utilize the mind, that we don't look at our thoughts and our beliefs and our history, our memories as wrong or bad, because the moment that we do, we put everything in the mind on high alert. We make ourselves wrong. The mind is a part of us. It's not that we are only, this higher self that is related to divine. We are that, and we are all of these other layers of consciousness. We are this complete whole, and the mind is part of that. Our beliefs are part of that. So the exploration that we're moving through in meditation is really about what beliefs are no longer serving us. So at one point, these beliefs came in to serve us. So every belief that is now limiting at one point was there to support us. So really hear that. Every belief that is now limiting you at one point was there to serve you. Okay. So as an example, as a child, when we are kind of bringing in the beliefs of our culture, of our parents, of our caregivers, we're believing these things, we're accepting these beliefs in order to fit in order to get along with the family unit, to get along with the culture, to get along with an intimate partner perhaps later on, or friends, or whatever it might be. So it was there to really support you, to help you be in community and connection. And then as we get older, as we begin to move into our sovereignty, into our autonomy, into our adulthood, and that aspect of responsibility, we have choice. We have an ability to look at the beliefs that are in our experience and decide whether or not those beliefs actually honor us, or if those beliefs are part of somebody else's story. We can choose which beliefs to keep and which beliefs no longer serve us. And when we do it with compassion, when we do it with understanding, rather than just turning away and saying, like, what the F? Like, I can't believe that people gave me all of these beliefs. It gives us a new opportunity to choose to create a life that is in alignment with our higher vision. And we use this higher vision to really look at whether or not those beliefs will serve us. Good morning, Sherry. Oh, good morning, Melissa. And so, what we're going to do in the meditation this morning is explore some of the beliefs that are now limiting and look at where they came from. And then decide, is this in alignment with our higher vision? And when we do it in this really gentle way, the ego doesn't rebel. We don't have the mind all of a sudden going, hey, we are not accepting this. We are going to rail against this. So it doesn't feel as destabilizing. It doesn't feel as though your mind, your beliefs are being challenged to such a large degree that it feels as though there's no stability, there's no certainty. It really helps with that smooth transition. So let's move into meditation. All right. So tomorrow we're going to be moving into a creative meditation, and you're going to be standing for that. So today is your last opportunity to sit in meditation this week. And then next week I'm going to announce it, but our meditations are going to be on Mondays. So Monday mornings. I'm thinking about the time. So it might be 8 or it might be moving to 9, just depending on what fits better. So let's take our seat of meditation. And this is a really powerful meditation. Some of the meditations I guide are very restful. They're very much about gaining more rest, more energy, more quiet. But this is really about tapping into the power, reclaiming the power, and it can feel really energizing. So this is a great meditation if you are wanting to tap into that energy, into that aliveness. And so as you arrive in meditation, we welcome in what is. We welcome in the thoughts. We welcome in the feelings, the sensations. We welcome in everything that is going on in your experience right now. Everything is welcome. You are powerful. You are able to hold the entirety of your experience. You don't need to pick and choose those parts that you think of as good or acceptable. Everything is welcome. Even the beliefs that are limiting. Even the beliefs that have held you in a space of stuckness. Everything is welcome. And as you arrive in this moment, as you arrive in your practice, I invite you to really feel into this space of presence and notice if there are any areas that you are feeling resistance, feeling as though you can't welcome in, you can't allow to be present. You can't allow that feeling of sadness to be there, that feeling of anger, frustration, or overwhelm. Or maybe you're feeling like you can't be joyful. Maybe you can't be happy. Maybe you can't be excited or abundant, wealthy. Really allow everything to be present. And every time you notice a place where there is resistance, just soften into that. Offer a little bit of compassion, a little bit of curiosity, and just that simple act of awareness of where you are closing, where you are turning away from, is all that is needed to return to presence. We step out of presence when we turn away from. And your act of awareness, your remembering to be aware, is what brings you back to presence, what brings you back into alignment, into integrity with who you are. And that is the true practice of meditation. That is what we are doing here. We are learning how to be more and more ourselves, more and more in presence. Because when we find ourselves in presence, this is where creation happens. This is where we can really be. This is where we feel alive. This is where we feel vital, open, heartfelt. We feel love here. We feel the joy. We feel inspiration. All of these elevated emotions, gratitude. Feeling these elevated emotions, even with the seemingly unlovable parts, the seemingly wrong, the sadness, the anger, frustration, the anxiety, the depression, the loneliness. In presence, we can hold all of these with kindness, compassion. And so we first set the container. We set the container of willingness, of the ability to hold what is, to hold the entirety of who we are, the complexity of this human experience. And in this space of receptivity, of compassion and kindness, we ask the question, what beliefs am I holding that no longer serve me? So you ask this question of the mind, of the body, of the spirit, and you receive the answers, you receive the information, and that might come in very clear words or images or thoughts or memories. Just be with this. What beliefs am I holding that no longer serve me? Breathe as you receive. Hold the energy of compassion. Hmm. For me, so often when I ask this question, I see statements that I make on a regular basis. Statements that show me that I'm holding beliefs that are no longer serving me. Statements such as, I know I'm a lot to handle. I know you don't want to hear this. I don't know what to say. So really notice what it is that is happening for you in your life right now. What beliefs are you holding that no longer serve you? And remember to hold those with compassion, with gentleness, with curiosity rather than judgment. And let's look at one of these beliefs that are no longer serving you. And let's get curious. The energy of curiosity holds the compassion, holds the openness, the willingness to look without judgment. So get curious about why this belief began. Where did this belief come from? So just get curious. Where did this belief come from? When did you first believe this thought? Who taught it to you? Or how did you learn it? And again, this process needs to be held with such compassion because even the place that this came from, even the people or the circumstances that birthed this belief that is now limiting, deserves your compassion. And now that you have inquired into this, now that you have seen where it came from, ask yourself if this is your belief now. Is this in alignment with your higher vision? And it might be, but more than likely, if you're feeling limitation right now, then it is not in alignment with your emerging vision, with this newest and highest expression of self. So just really hold that belief up to your emerging vision. And if you aren't clear on vision, you can simply ask the question and your higher self will answer. Is this belief in alignment with my higher vision? Good. And now we reclaim that power. We allow that belief to go back to where it came from. We honor the place that it came from. And we now hold space for a new belief to take its place. We let go of that belief that no longer serves us, but did at one time. We hold space for a belief that will support our higher vision. And so welcome that new belief in now. Welcome in the belief that replaces this, a liberating belief. So as I shared, one of my statements was, I am too much. And so a liberating belief that replaces this is, I am perfect exactly how I am. My energy matters, my truth matters. And so look at what is true for you. Look at the liberating belief that is true for you. And as you do this, notice how this affirmative statement feels. Notice how it stimulates the elevated emotions that we were talking about of gratitude, of inspiration, of power, of courage, joy, and really link this new belief, this liberation with the elevated emotions. When we can link belief with emotion, it really becomes ingrained. And this new affirmative statement is something that needs to be repeated. And so you can actually create this as a habit, turn this into a new belief by repeating it. So think of this like an affirmation, because that is what it is. But because it is in alignment with your highest vision, it holds so much potency, so much power. And so write that down after the meditation. Write down your liberating belief, your affirmation. Or record it in your phone, or whatever you need to do to see it often, to repeat it often, to repattern, to replace the belief that no longer serves you. Now, as we come to a close of this meditation, we tap into that feeling of gratitude. You can draw your hands to your heart. Really activate gratitude, activate the feeling that this already is. That's the beauty of this elevated emotion of gratitude, is that we are grateful for what already is. And so that activates this belief, this liberation in this present moment. So from this moment on, this new belief is present. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Namaste. So as we come back into this space, really feel the edges of your body, the edges of your energy. And really feel that power circulating, that newness of liberation. And notice in your mind how what might have been resistance, if we had pushed really hard, if we had really pushed up against that belief, when we take the time to really tease it apart, to find spaces in there and to hold it up against our vision, to hold it up against the highest vision for our life, that the ego surrenders. There's a softening that naturally happens, because it's not about rejection. It's not about the ego needing to keep itself safe, which is the job of the ego. It is now offered a new way. It's offered a new way of being, and this creates a sense of safety. So when you're ready, you can open your eyes and come back to the space. Thank you so much for practicing with me. As I mentioned at the beginning of the day, I really genuinely hope that you take the time to join us at the Rise Digital Summit today. It'll be on replay too. It's from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. And the speakers are just incredible. And I have such gratitude, present moment gratitude, appreciation for the fact that I'll be speaking there as well. And this is really big for me. I have not had the opportunity to speak on such a large stage. And oh my goodness, I'm already getting emotional. In a large part, it's because of you. So in large part, my confidence to be able to do these things, to be able to reach out, is because of this community, is because of every single one of you showing up and being willing to hear the message and to practice together. It gives me so much confidence, and it gives me so much gratitude for the fact that this message matters, that my truth matters. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Have such a beautiful, blessed day. And I look forward to seeing you either at Rise or seeing you tomorrow for our morning meditation on creation. So creating from this power. And I wish you all the love today.